What's going on, everybody? Eyecee here, and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for November 30th. It's 3-game slate, and I'm going to try to make this a really quick video. Before I do get started, I want to mention that this is a spreadsheet that no one has access to. If you guys want access to this spreadsheet, you're going to have to do what you did before and message me on Twitter at Eyecee DFS with an email address or post in the YouTube comments below. The reason why I did this is because I saw 16 people using the spreadsheet yesterday and I only had 1 like on my pinned tweet. I'm really trying to grow this channel and I need your support. So if you guys want the spreadsheet on a daily basis for free, then you guys are going to have to do a much better job of supporting me and the channel grow. I need you guys to like the videos, like the pinned tweets, comment from time to time, interact. A lot of you guys do a good job of messaging me on Twitter, asking for lineup construction advices, this player, that player. There's not just one, there's like 15 of you guys. So I need you guys to do a better job of liking and supporting, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. But I mean, yesterday was just unacceptable. I had 16 people using this and 1 like. I don't think that's fair, guys. This takes a lot of effort and time, 2 to 4 hours a day depending on the slate. A lot of in-depth research I'm doing here to make these notes and analysis. So I really need some more support and a little bit more of a reward than I'm getting. I know it's a grind to grow a YouTube channel, but this has become a little bit too much of a grind that I'm willing to put up with. So I really need your help in helping me grow. So please help, please support, please like, please subscribe, please just help out whenever you can. I don't mind helping you guys out. I'll give you access to the spreadsheet. Send me an email address. I'll share the link. Going forward, you'll be able to access it, but you guys got to do a better job of liking the tweets and the videos. With that said, yesterday was a decent night. I mean, it wasn't all that great. It wasn't bad either. We did all right, so I can't really complain. This was one of my early lineups here. Most of my lineups did all right, but I mean, it wasn't a great night overall. It would have been a really, really exciting night if Rondo, Lou Williams, and Winslow did better. I had a lot of PJ Washington, Embiid, Doncic, Biyombo, Korkmaz. Korkmaz was a dud, basically, but he still did all right based on his price point. PJ Washington went nuclear. Doncic was my favorite play on the slate. A stud play anyways. And Embiid I talked about liking a lot, but these guys kind of let me down. If it wasn't for these meddling bums, then I would have had a much better night. I was 46 DraftKings points away from first, and you know, all 3 of these guys are good guys that did bad, so it sucked. But I mean, it could have been a much better night, but it is what it is. We made a slight profit. We live to fight another day, and hopefully I didn't bore you guys to death with me complaining a little bit, but I had to put that out there. I just didn't think it was fair. On to today's take. So we have a 3-game slate here, and I'm not going to be talking about every single player, only the guys I really like and I've highlighted. I have detailed notes for every single guy here, so you guys can go through those at your own time. But for the sake of a short video, I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. So from this Indiana Pacers versus 76ers game, both of these teams are on a back-to-back. The Pacers just played an overtime game. A lot of these guys recently came back from injury, so keep an eye on the news there. Maybe someone gets restricted here or limited or gets benched. That would boost a lot of these guys in the blue here, or Justin Holiday is the #1 candidate. But keep an eye on the news. With that said, TJ Warren, someone I'm looking at a lot. I like both TJ Warren and Miles Turner based on their ownerships here. They're both very viable plays, even if the matchup is a little bit tougher. TJ Warren in particular at a $4,800, $600 price discount from the other day is a very viable play at this price. He's more than capable of going out there and getting it done. If he's going to be taking double-digit shot attempts, and I have no problem with TJ Warren. He's a little bit risky because he does tend to disappear when he's not needed. But this is a tough matchup. They're gonna need him, and he's gonna be used a lot he's gonna be used a lot throughout the season. His minutes have been fantastic. His usage rate has been good. And in the last few games with these guys back, he's still been doing what he's been doing the past 10 games. So it's not much of a risk here. I pretty much like TJ Warren here. And then Miles Turner is a little bit more of a risk. And the reason why he's a little bit more of a risk is because he hasn't had good games against Joel Embiid in the past. He's had 3 decent games. He's been averaging a point per minute, so if he's going to be getting around 38 minutes, I don't mind him. But if he's going to be getting around 30 minutes, then he could be a little bit problematic at this price point. Still a decent play in his own right. He could definitely get you 40, 50 DraftKings points. 45 is what I'd be aiming for with him if he had a really good night. 45 is not outside the realm of possibility for Miles Turner. But again, it is a tough matchup against the 76ers. But the thing going for them is that Philly also is on a back-to-back. And they might also rest or reduce some of their guys' minutes. One guy who won't be rested or reduced is Al Horford, but Embiid could slightly see some less minutes. And Josh Richardson being out could mean some additional bums on the court. And Miles Turner could, get some easy rebounds, blocks, and all that. So I don't mind Miles Turner either, but those are the only two guys I'm really considering. I have favorable opinions for a lot of these Pacers, so make sure you read the notes here. But these are the two guys that are standing out for me. On the 76ers side, I got to go back to my man Joel Embiid. I mean, JoJo's just been in scintillating hot form since the Raptors embarrassed him. Man, he's just been dropping dimes, buckets, mid-range, everything. He's just been fantastic the past 2 games. I don't mind going to JoJo again. It is a back-to-back, so the minutes are a little bit of a risk. It is a tough matchup against the Pacers, and Horford is going to be back, so that should open up, or that should reduce some of the usage burden on Embiid and provide him with some more help. With that said, Embiid is in a prime spot here to go out and smash. Embiid's actually had decent games against the Pacers throughout his career. He's had a 73-point game in the past, couple of 50-plus games here. So I really like Embiid as a play here at this $9,500 price range, especially on a 3-game slate. I don't mind going to him whatsoever. I'm going to give an honorable mention here to Tobias Harris. He's a decent play, but whenever I vouch for him, he stabs me in the ass. I mean, at 6,400, I don't mind him. I think he could go out there and have a decent game. Any one of these starter guys could go out there and have a decent game on any given night, but Tobias Harris just stands out to be more. He's going to have a little bit of a nicer matchup with Lamb and Warren, I think, compared with Horford, Simmons. Embiid is my clear-cut favorite, but between Simmons, Harris, and Horford, I'll be going with Harris. Simmons' price is a little bit too high for what he does, so, I mean, while I'm interested, I'm not that excited about it. And Horford at an elevated price, higher than Harris, I'm not all that excited about that either. And, of course, there's a lot of notes here for you guys to read, so go through those. It's very important. The next thing here I like, or next game, I should say, is Charlotte versus Milwaukee, and the next guy I like is Devontae Graham. I've been saying Rozier for the past 2 games, but now I'm ready to say Graham again. His price has dropped. He's through 200 more than Rozier. And I mean, Rozier hasn't had the best of games against the Bucks in the past. He's had one really good game, and all these other games are mediocre. I don't know the reason for that because Bledsoe sucks against Rozier. But Rozier hasn't done good against the Bucks, and I don't really feel confident playing that much Rozier. He's still a viable pick on a 3-game slate at this price point. Of course, he wasn't the bona fide starter back in these days. Maybe 1 or 2 games he did start, but he wasn't the starter. He usually came off the bench. Now he's starting, so he's more of a viable play, but still, I just don't like the past history between these guys. Bledsoe in particular hates this guy and will do whatever he can to make sure he has an off night. So Devontae Graham, on the other hand, he's been having a little bit of a quieter games the past 2 games. Still been doing good, but just a little bit quieter than Rozier. I feel like Devontae Graham's going to be in a fantastic spot here against a fast-paced Bucks team who's really going to be putting more focus onto Rozier. So Devontae Graham is someone I'll be looking at 6,500. He has a huge upside, even if it's a horrible matchup against the Bucks. The pace-up nature of this matchup makes me really like Devontae Graham. And then Miles Bridges, what can I say? Miles Bridges came through for me again. I've just been a big Miles Bridges fan for this whole year so far. He's been really, really good. His price has gone up and down. People have came and gone from this roster, but he's really holding down the small forward spot. This is essentially his spot. He is the de facto starting small forward for this team, even with Batum, Monk, Bacon all in the rear. He's the guy that's been getting the minutes consistently. He's the guy that's been producing, and he's the guy I don't mind getting to. Of course, the ceiling is not as high as him compared to some of these other guys, but even at 5,300, 40 DraftKings points is not outside of the realm of possibility, especially in this fast-paced matchup, I believe. And especially if Middleton's going to continue to come off the bench. That should just mean Miles Bridges has a much easier time. Another reason why I like Miles Bridges is because it is a back-to-back for Charlotte, and Batum recently came back from injury. He's playing around 28 minutes. So if he's not going to be, starting, or if he's not even going to be playing, then that'll give a significant boost to Bridges, Monk, and even Bacon. So as it stands, I'm expecting Batum to play slightly less minutes because he did come back from that big injury, and he's 31 years old. So they might want to play it safe there, keep an eye on the news, but I don't mind Miles Bridges whatsoever. PJ Washington, I'm on the fence with here. 4,600. He played extended minutes due to Zeller being out. He finally had a monster game that I was waiting for, and I knew he had it in him. But I mean, now in this matchup against the Bucks, against Giannis, I feel like it's going to be a very, very bad spot for him. he just shot really well yesterday. He was very efficient. He had 4 steals to boot. So I don't think these are all sustainable things. He also played 34 minutes because Cody Zeller was out. If Cody Zeller is in, that'll reduce the minutes. That'll reduce the upside he has. So I won't be that interested. As it stands, I'm on the fence. His ownership's also going to be very high. And there's a high probability he busts. So I'd rather just fade him than play him. But he still has upside. So he's in consideration. But not much. Honestly, I'd rather just fade him. Of course, there's Biyombo still, but I mean, you guys can read the notes for that for the sake of a smaller video. On the Bucks side, look, Giannis is basically the guy doing it for me. 11,800. He's one of the highest priced. He is the highest priced stud. No, second highest. Harden's actually priced higher than him. I mean, between Harden and Giannis, you can't really go wrong here. You just have to realize, what do you want? Do you want a little bit more of a riskier player, or do you want a safer play? Giannis is a safer play. Giannis will get you 50, 60 DraftKings points a lot safer than Harden will. But Harden just has the higher ceiling. Harden can get you 100 DraftKings points. Giannis will very rarely get near 100. He'll get to 80, but, Harden will most likely get to 80, 90 than Giannis. So Harden's ceiling's a little bit higher than Giannis's, but Giannis's floor is a little bit safer than Harden's. Harden's really the only guy that can stop himself by missing shots. Giannis, on the other hand, he could also stop himself if he's not being smart, passing out of double teams and all that and trying to do too much. But, I mean, he's in a safer spot here against a young Charlotte team that doesn't play really much any defense. They've been in hot form, so I feel like this game will be a little bit more competitive than the Hawks, who have been playing like trash. But, again, the Hawks are up against the Houston Rockets, who don't have as good of a defense as the Bucks, which is why it's tough. This game could very well get out of hand here. Charlotte could be in over their heads going up against the Bucks. But again, Giannis is someone I'm definitely playing tonight, and he's going to be in a lot of my lineups. But I'm also going to be playing Harden. It's between the two, and depending on how value opens up, I might play both, but it's very hard to get to both, especially at these salaries. Chris Middleton at 6K, if he's going to be starting, I don't mind him. I like him. But if he's not going to be starting and playing only 20 to 23 minutes, then I do not care. Eric Bledsoe on the other end, I'll just show you guys this because I have it up here. Eric Bledsoe has done not that well against Rozier. He had one good game. Aside from that, it was in the regular season. In the playoffs, Rozier just shut him down. And Rozier's just been really good against Bledsoe. Bledsoe hasn't had success against Rozier. Likewise, Rozier hasn't been all that good against Bledsoe either. So, I'm not really on to Bledsoe or anybody else here for that matter. A lot of it depends on if Sterling Brown and Kyle Korver are again out, and if Chris Middleton is benched and coming off the bench. That would open up Dante DiVincenzo and Pat Connaughton. But again, I'm not all that excited about a lot of these other guys. The last game of the slate, which should be the fastest paced game of the night, is the Hawks versus the Rockets. And the Hawks, look, Trey Young is of course in play. I love the price at 8,900. They're dropping the price now. They started raising his price, and I didn't agree with that. Trey Young's not Luka Doncic. He's not going to put up Luka numbers consistently. 60 is what's reasonable out of him, and even then, in this matchup, 60 is very reasonable, so I don't mind Trey Young at this price. It's a very tough matchup against an offensive juggernaut here. It'll really depend on the Hawks making their shots, but one thing's for certain, that the Rockets aren't really going to be playing defense like that. They're not that good defensively, especially not with House and Capella missing. Both are doubtful, so that should just make this a more scoring type of game in the first place. I like targeting a lot of guys from the Rockets in particular, but from the Hawks, Trey Young would have to be one. Hunter, slight interest in him. The price is slightly elevated. If Reddish is going to be playing, then I don't know how much Hunter I like, but I have a feeling Reddish might be held out because it's a back-to-back and he was injured before coming into last night's game. Hunter would definitely be getting a lot more shot volume with Reddish out. Not that Reddish takes that much shots, but it just seems to work out like that. Hunter's usage rates goes up quite a lot with Reddish out. Parker's a reasonable play, but I mean, he's on and off. You know what you're gonna get with him. You could get a monster game or a dud. Either or is possible. It's just the pace up of this matchup is really good. But read the notes. DeAndre Bembry, another decent matchup here. If only in play if Reddish is out. If he's gonna be starting, I love him. Bembry usually whenever he's chalk ends up doing good, which is weird. I don't know how that works out, but whenever he knows he's gonna be getting a good amount of minutes, he just comes out there and he performs better. So there's that. So I wouldn't mind Bembry. I'll put him on the fence for now because it depends on can Reddish really playing or not. Even last game, Cam Reddish was mostly reduced, right? He was on the minutes limit. So Bembry got extended run. Alex Len, after playing 12 minutes in total in his last 2 games, he played 29 minutes the other night. And at 3,100, he could definitely have another great showing. The problem with Alex Len is I don't know if he's like medically fit or not. He seems to be in and out of the rotation a lot. He is a bigger guy. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm going to have to do some more research in that regard. But, I mean, he's more than capable of producing, exceeding, and even smashing value at a 3,100 price point. If he's going to be getting 20 to 25 minutes, he's a lock for me. I don't know how I get away from Alex Len, especially if he's going to be starting. I really don't know. He hadn't been starting, but then he got the minutes the last game. So keep an eye on this. This is very important, Alex Len. It could change a lot. Now the Rockets are doubtful with Capella and House. If those two are missing, that'll give a huge bump to Russell Westbrook, who should be seeing his rebounding rates go up a lot. Capella's just been taking the rebounding here. He's not as nice as Steven Adams. He's just been taking the rebounds from Russell Westbrook. There's an incentive for Capella to do so. He gets a bonus if he averages a certain amount of rebounds. And Russell Westbrook just doesn't care now. He's just trying to win and do what the team needs to win. But with Russell Westbrook rebounding, the ball's in his hands a lot more, and he's bringing the ball up a lot more, meaning he has more opportunity to do things with it. That should also increase his assist rate. And playing with a guy like Harden, I mean, the assists are always going to be there. It's the rebounds that's been lacking for Westbrook, and it's inefficient shooting. In a matchup against the Hawks, who are terrible against opposition, Westbrook should be able to easily target Trey Young for the whole night and get his work in. So Westbrook's one of my favorite plays in general, 9,300 with Capella and House out. Harden, of course, I will be looking at just as much as I'm looking at Giannis, one of the top studs of the night. Can't really go wrong with him. He's basically going to have to take himself out of the equation by missing. But even then, he still gets a lot of peripheral stats. He gets to the free throw line, so it's very hard for Harden to fail. But he could still underperform and not get what you want. So it's a really good matchup here, fast-paced, no defense. But this game could get out of hand. But again, the Rockets like to play their guys extended minutes anyways, even if it is a blowout. They don't take any chances there. So these guys are an offensive juggernaut for a reason. PJ Tucker, 5,100, a little risky due to the price, but with Daniel House potentially missing, there's going to be a lot of stand in the corner, PJ, and wait for Russell or James to give you the ball and shoot the damn ball. So PJ Tucker could definitely be a viable play. I mean, he's had a roller coaster season. He was really good initially, and then in the middle there, he had somewhat of down games with people returning and back. But, I mean, with some of the injuries in recent days, he's, again, been playing a decent role. And he's someone at even 5,100 could get you 30 DraftKings points, no problemo. You would not be mad. And then with Daniel House and Capella missing, I mean, a lot of things could happen here. So I'm just going to talk about this in general. Tyson Chandler only played 8 minutes the other day because the opponent, the Rockets, were playing. I forget who it was. Who was it? Miami. Miami played small ball. By playing small ball, they basically just took Chandler out of the equation, and the Rockets had to resort to Gary Clark, who ended up playing a significant amount of minutes, 29 to be exact, and had a really good performance. Now, the Atlanta Hawks don't really have a guy to play small ball with. They can try, but they don't really have a true small ball guy. John Collins was the guy that they ran small ball with, but without him, it's really hard for them to do it. They don't really have the personnel, meaning Tyson Chandler could actually see a lot more minutes in this game. Gary Clark could see a lot less. And Hartenstein's a guy in the middle that could see a decent amount of minutes because Hawks won't be able to play small ball that much, or at least not efficiently. So keep an eye. That's very important to figure out. The lineup the Hawks run with, it'll be a good indication of what the Hawks' mindset is. For what it's worth, I don't think they even have anybody here to properly play small ball. They won't be able to stop the Houston Rockets with any small ball lineup they put out without John Collins. So I don't really think they do that. They go with their Len, Bruno, and the other guy, Damian Jones. But I just thought I'd mention that. Gary Clark only played because Miami had small ball for a majority of the game, and Tyson Chandler just couldn't run with it. Neither could Hartenstein. So, but this matchup, Tyson Chandler could very well be in play, and he played 8 minutes. He's going to have low ownership at 3,500, and he's going to be playing around 25 minutes. What did he play last time he was starting? 25, 17. So the minutes are still risky, but he could get it done. But yeah, for the sake of a small video, guys, I'm just gonna end it here. Again, sorry if it offended anybody, but yeah, you guys are gonna have to resend me your emails on Twitter to get access to the spreadsheet. And please do a diligent job of liking and supporting. I'd really appreciate all the love and support I've been getting, but it just needs to be consistent. I need it to grow consistently. Otherwise, it's a waste of my time. Just real talk. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you for the support. I wish you all the best of luck tonight. As always, if you have any questions, DM me on Twitter, post in the YouTube comments below. I'll do my best to give you the best detailed answers I possibly can. I have a little bit of extra time today, so I'll be at my house a lot more, so I'll be able to answer questions a lot better. So take advantage of that. But with that, best of luck tonight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.